Not too long ago, it was believed that our Earth was covered by a see-through water-like dome. Ancient astrologers considered the Earth to be flat and not a huge globe surrounded by space. That alone is up for discussion, but it's not what this video is about. We're going to delve into the firmament and see if it really exists, or if it's just hype that some believe just to repel against the authorities. We're going to unravel Scripture, show you more modern day predictions about it, but most importantly, reveal what some think is absolute evidence that there is a dome that covers the very land we walk on. And trust me, it's evidence that will leave your jaw wide open. It's hard to believe that there can be some kind of dome covering the Earth. It's even harder to consider this dome is made of some kind of substance that resembles and acts like water. But if you ever read the Bible or contemplated religion, it's there for all to read. Would it not be hypocritical or foolish to believe there is a God, or that Jesus came to save us from sin, yet not believe in its claims of a firmament? It's pretty clear in its scripture. The book of Genesis in the King James Version reads,
"And God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so."
All this, obviously, is in the public domain, yet mention the firmament or a dome to most, and they will frown and mock and mention tin-foil hats. It goes on.
"And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day."
Every human being on this land has heard of heaven. They even strive to be there one day, or at least most do. So let me get this right. It is okay to mention heaven without ridicule, but mention it as the Bible portrays it, and all of a sudden, you're a Looney Tune.
Shh, be very quiet.
Of course, these passages from the Bible could be misinterpreted, but ancient folk didn't think so. Both astrologers and astronomers believed it. Alchemists and philosophers believed it. But us now, the modern man, the one who's out to destroy the land, or as it seems, fails to believe it. But back then in ancient times, they didn't have media to nudge them away from the truth, did they? But what they did have was influencers, and I don't mean social media influencers, but other folk with agendas, and thus was born the heliocentric theory, the theory that the Earth was no longer the centre of everything, but the sun was. And all of a sudden, the Earth was no longer a flat plane covered in a heaven, but a spinning ball hurtling through space at breakneck speed. And everyone believed them, and here we are today. Nearly every culture, every religion understood that there was a dome. But as if with a magic wand, poof, Earth changed in an instant, and the firmament disappeared. Actually, never even existed. Maybe prediction is the wrong word. We know how Hollywood and its media allies like to cloak us in stupidity, the way they like to show us in films and TV and music what is about to come. Shows that seem to predict things like 9/11 or the death of a celebrity or alike. Well, they've done it with the firmament too. The most obvious and most outward is The Truman Show. I'm going to admit it is a cracking piece of movie making, but was it just a clever understanding of a misconception, or was it mockery? It certainly opened up a few eyes to how our realm could be, but because it was a comedy, it has also opened up effortless channels of ridicule. If you believe the concept of a dome, a firmament, it became easier to be dismissed. Clever, cunning, or revelation. Hollywood are not done, although how they've wrecked their own masterpieces would suggest otherwise. The Simpsons cartoon series is known for its predictions. Actually, it is quite scary how they have predicted so many events in its long-running series. Episode after episode has accidentally stumbled into crystal gazing. Here are just a few. The Simpsons not only predicted Donald Trump would eventually be the US president, but they even predicted the famous escalator scene. Back in the mid-90s, groundskeeper Willie caught a school serving horse meat. And what happened in 2013? Some supermarkets across the world got caught using horse meat in their products without notifying the consumer. In the late 90s, The Simpsons predicted that 20th Century Fox would be owned by Disney. And lo and behold, 21 years later, it happened. One of the most bizarre predictions is what's known as the Higgs boson particle. I'm not going to go all mathematical on you, but it's a very complicated equation to do with the Large Hadron Collider. And the Simpsons got it right 14 years before the boffins in Switzerland. And last, even though there are many more, Milhouse predicted who was going to win the Nobel Peace Prize for economics. An outsider in the betting, but you've guessed it, 6 years later, to everyone's surprise, he won it. Is this, once again, clever and cunning? Or has the Simpsons' success elevated them to the top of the powerful media of revelations? In 2007, 20th Century Fox and others released The Simpsons movie. It was the first feature-length film of the animation series. After all of their amazing predictions in the TV series, what did they decide to use as a plot for the full-length movie? The Firmament. In this film, there are several hidden messages that most of the viewing public failed to spot. One is obvious, but the others are subtle. First, the obvious. The dome. Although just over the town of Springfield alone, it's an apparent indicator of the firmament. Obvious, yes, but have a look at these subtle, some say subliminal, messages. The film begins and originally centers around the death of the rock band Green Day. Why Green Day? You're right, yes, they were a very popular American band at the time. But some say it's because of their album titled Shenanigans. Shenanigans is another word for deceit. And also on this album is a track called You Lied, of which the chorus sings, "While reality is due, what you say just can't be true, when the story's stretched and so far-fetched that you're lacking an excuse. You lied." During Green Day's memorial, Grandpa Simpson has a spiritual experience and prophesies that a disaster will befall Springfield. Grandpa Simpson's name is Abraham, and without going into scripture too much again, it was Abraham who received word from God in, once again, the book of Genesis. God repeatedly uses the sky to illustrate promises to Abraham. The head of the Environmental Protection Agency in the film is a character named Russ Cargill. Not a main character as such, but Russ Cargill is an anagram of Cirrus AG. Cirrus, as in the high-altitude clouds made of ice crystals. AG is an ancient lexicon, meaning amazing or unbelievable. Homer adopts a pig in the movie. He names it Spider Pig, and amusingly pretends it is walking on the ceiling.
Spider Pig, does whatever a Spider Pig does.
The pig was initially called Plopper at the start and also referred to as Harry Plopper. Is that to do with wizardry and water? Maybe all this is pure coincidence, but I can't help thinking that added to all their other predictions, the coincidences begin to shrink rapidly. There have been numerous other shows and films mentioned in the firmament, and I feel Hollywood and her counterparts know more than they are letting on. This is the amazing part. There is evidence that the firmament is above us, or so it seems. Back around 2015 sometime, a group of science enthusiasts launched a rocket with the sole purpose of reaching the highest altitude ever reached with an amateur rocket. What happened? Stunned them, and should have stunned the public. But this, although you've probably seen it, wasn't promoted by mainstream media. At approximately 73 miles, it appears to hit a ceiling. It suddenly stopped abruptly. Was this the firmament? Science says no. Science puts it down to malfunction. What do you think? David Blaine conducted a launch in 2010 as part of a stunt to break a record for the highest freefall jump, where, and I quote, he observed a phenomena that led to interpretations aligned with the idea of a firmament. Is this proof, coincidence, or another Blaine stunt to hype the public, of which he is renowned? Delivered during her presidential campaign acceptance speech at the Democratic National Convention on July the 28th, 2016, Hillary Clinton spoke of a glass ceiling and the powers to smash it. Was it a metaphor?
I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now.
Other well-known celebrities purposely mock the firmament blatantly. Should we believe them, or are they coaxed into pushing an agenda, a hidden agenda? Only they know that. The second SpaceX flight asks a lot of questions. Does it just explode like the media are telling us, or does it hit something like a watery dome? How about the Falcon 9 space rocket that was allegedly carrying satellites?
And now you'll see it continue to shine through the night sky as it hits another thrust set right there. Just see the trail it's leaving behind. Absolutely amazing. And to describe it to you, and you can see it, but from the ground, it almost looks as though a cloud of smoke with its own mind is just shooting through the sky. This is absolutely incredible.
Note how the reporter or announcer quickly changes what he was going to or wanted to say. From the ground, it almost looks like, then the pause, it almost looks like a cloud of smoke. Really? To me, and I could be way wrong, but it looks like that rocket is travelling and struggling through thick water. But apparently, according to the announcer, it's smoke. Okay. Ignoring man-made rockets, what about when weather phenomena show us the curvature of the dome, the firmament, the heavens? Rainbows. Is it really the sun reflecting off tiny rain droplets or the reflection of something bigger, a lot bigger as well? Am I wrong in thinking that if it was the sun reflecting off every rain droplet, wouldn't you have multiple rainbows, ones that merge into one massive straight sheen instead of a huge arc? But if it was the same principle, but instead of reflecting from tiny water droplets like rain, it was actually reflecting and projecting off of a clear dome, one that was above the rainbow. Like I said, am I wrong? Some folks say that lightning may relate to electrical discharges in the firmament, rather than meteorological phenomena as understood by science. I must admit that I found it hard to understand how clouds can rub together and create thunder and lightning like told in science classes. Maybe I wasn't listening to the teacher properly. Maybe I was distracted by the rainbow outside. Ever heard of star jelly? Star jelly, also known as asteroid jelly or star rot, is a gelatinous substance that has been reported in various locations worldwide. It has been associated with unexplained phenomena and has often sparked curiosity and speculation. Typically, it looks like a clear or translucent spongy glass-like mass, often compared to jelly or slime. Reports of star jelly date back to ancient times, with descriptions often involving it appearing overnight in fields, gardens, or other landscapes. Various theories have been proposed regarding its origin. Some suggest it may be a type of slime or mould or a byproduct of animal decomposition. Others speculate it could be linked to meteor showers or atmospheric events. Some fringe theories propose that it could be of extraterrestrial origins, aliens. Despite many anecdotal reports, scientific studies have not definitively identified star jelly or established its origins. It remains a subject of curiosity rather than a well-understood phenomenon. Fragments of a thick watery-like substance? Fragments of a firmament, perhaps? If science cannot explain this substance, then who's to say it isn't? They can't say it isn't because they cannot explain it. Am I right? Whether it's scripture you believe, whether it's the scientists battling your minds, or the nudge tactics used in an ever-decreasing corrupt world, even if you don't give a... One thing is for sure, as the normal standard human being like me, and you cannot go up there, I don't even know if we will ever know. It just seems easy for science to explain the questions we can't answer ourselves. We rely on them, but they know it. Let's hope that they are not taking advantage of our ignorance. It's easy for some people to ridicule flat earthers or mock at the thought of questioning science. To me, that is proof that something is being hidden. But is it? You be the judge.